Hello, everybody. Oh, no. All right, looks like I'm not going live on Instagram today. Oh, there it is. Just took a second. All right, hello, everybody. It's me, your favorite real estate agent, and I got little Alexander contact napping on me. So today I want to talk about real estate investing and the best way to build wealth long-term for you and your family, generational wealth. And that is something that we call appreciation arbitrage. So I get asked all the time, what's the best way to get into real estate investing? Oh, you know what? That's why. I was so much better. Let there be light. I get asked all the time how to get into real estate investing and if I think real estate is a good way to build wealth. And of course, the answer is yes. We help our clients do this all the time. It's one of our favorite things to do. And today I just want to teach you about it. We have until Alexander wakes up from his nap. So that could be 1 minute or 30 minutes. It's like a fun game. Also, let me know where you're tuning in from and what you're interested in. I obviously love to talk about real estate and wealth creation, but I'm here for you. So if there's something else you want to learn, let me know. Last week we did how to actually stick to your how to stick to your New Year's resolutions. Today we're talking a little bit more about real estate. So thanks everyone for jumping on. To begin, let's talk about what is appreciation arbitrage. So when you break it down, appreciation is growth over time, when the value of something grows over time. And arbitrage is leveraging something to multiply your wealth. In this case, it's going to be your equity. So appreciation arbitrage is when you take advantage of your equity in your properties to create appreciation for you and your family. Now, there's a lot of words here, and if you're brand new, this might not fully make sense, and that's okay. If you have any questions, just drop them down below. I can see all of them. And like I said, I'm here for you. So breaking down this whole strategy, the first step is to get into your first property. When you're buying your very first house, there are so many incentives for first-time home buyers. The biggest one is that you need a lower down payment. So you can usually get into a house with 3.5% down, which means like the total cash that you'll need to bring to the table in order to buy a house is usually 5 or 6% instead of 20 or 30%. So that's a big difference, $10,000-$20,000 difference. And that can be the difference between getting into a house and not getting into a house. Plus, with the right realtor, you can really get good deals, limit your closing costs, get really good deals on the properties. So if you have questions about that, we'd love to let you know. We specialize in hardcore negotiation. We fight hard for our clients. So getting into your first property is the best way to get started, because what is so cool about real estate is that every month that you're paying your mortgage, it's basically like you're paying it into your own bank account. Because you own the house, all of the money that goes into it creates what's called equity that you own. So when you're renting, you're just paying money to your landlord and you're honestly building equity for them in their property. But when it's your own, you are giving that money to yourself. Now, as a bonus, if you, for example, your first property is a duplex and you have someone renting the other side, or even if it's a 4-bedroom and you have someone renting one of the bedrooms, then you can have them paying you as a landlord and helping build your equity for yourself. But even if it's just a house that you buy for you and your family and you live in it for a couple years, like I said, every mortgage payment that you make builds your equity. And then over time, you have, let's say, $50,000 or $60,000 in equity. Now, the appreciation part comes in as well, because let's say over 5 years, your property goes from $300,000 in value to $400,000 in value, even though you've only paid $50,000 in your mortgage. Since the value of the property has gone up, you can take that money out. It's called a HELOC, a home equity line of credit. And you can basically, you're saying, okay, my house is worth $400,000. I want to take out $70,000, and that's my money now. And you can take it and pay that cash on the down payment for your next property. So now you have 2 properties and you're not really paying any of your own money, because you took advantage of the appreciation and you took advantage of the equity that you were building. So it was money that you were paying for your mortgage anyway. Now you have 2 properties, and then you can live in one and rent out the other one fully. And then in the next 5 years or however, it depends, of course, on what the market's doing and what your rent is like. If you can rent out your property for how much more your mortgage is, etc. But let's just say another 5 years, and you can now pull out the equity in the first property and the second property, and you're pulling that out. And then maybe now you have enough money to buy even 2 more properties. So now you have 4 properties. And then another 5 years goes by, and you pull out the equity in 4 properties. So then maybe now you can buy 3 more properties with the money, because if you, let's say for easy math, you can pull out 20,000 from each of the 4 houses, that's 80,000. So, are you with me thus far? It's all about just long-term thinking. Now, we see this all the time, and honestly, I hate a lot of the real estate investment gurus, whether it's the long-term wealth or the flipping or anything. People love to say that you'll get rich fast. A very clickbaity thing in the real estate world is like, buy houses with none of your own money and flip it and make $100,000. And it's just never that simple. So I'm here to tell you the truth that it's not going to be that simple, and that's okay. But the time is going to pass anyway, and you need a place to live anyway. So if you can do this and build the equity in all those properties and pull it out, it's a relatively risk-free and safer way to build generational wealth, because then after 20, 30 years, you have 8, 10, 15 properties, maybe even more. It depends on your personal risk tolerance, how aggressive you want to be with this. But it's an amazing way to build wealth for yourself. And as you're buying more properties, your tenants are paying the mortgage of all of those properties. And then, in 30 years, if you started with a 30-year mortgage, again, depending on how you play the game, you can have your tenants pay off the full mortgage for you. And then it's cash flowing fully when you have the tenants paying you rent every month. So appreciation arbitrage, again, in a nutshell, is buy one property, let it build equity, let it appreciate, let the value appreciate in a city like Austin or the outskirts of Austin, Buda, Kyle, Round Rock, Georgetown, all of those, they're blowing up in the next 5 years. I promise you that the value is going to be higher. If you have questions about the city that you're in, let me know. I love to talk about this stuff. So reach out. We can help in all 50 states. I'm in Austin, though, so that's what I'm focusing on. And I know it's a great place where properties are appreciating. So just giving it time, the property value will appreciate. And of course, over time, the more rent you pay, you'll have equity in there, because each time you pay the money, it builds the equity. So then time goes by, and then you pull out some of that money in a HELOC, a home equity line of credit, and you can pull that out, and then you have that cash, and you can use that as a down payment for your next property. And then you do the same thing, and 5 years goes by, or 3 years goes by, or whatever it is that makes you feel comfortable, and then you pull out equity there and use that for the next, et cetera, et cetera. And so, I hope you can see how this can build a huge real estate portfolio with very little, money from you, as in having to go out of your way, having to save $50,000 yourself or come up with an extra $70,000, etc. So the biggest thing, like I said, is the mindset shift of thinking long-term. Like anything good, worth having, it takes time. And most people don't talk about it because it's not sexy to say, oh, build generational wealth in 20 years. But the time is going to pass anyway. And it's never too late to set yourself up for success, and especially in real estate. And real estate, like I said, in a city like Austin and even the surrounding areas of Austin, is always going to appreciate. The city is growing rapidly. It's becoming more and more popular, and they're not making more land. So the sooner that you can get into the real estate, the better. The value of the houses that you get will just only increase. We are doing this with a client actually right now as we speak. Tomorrow is the closing date. They have 2 houses already. They pulled out some equity to use as the down payment, and they're buying a 3rd property, which they close on tomorrow. And then they're going to rent that out and use that income to, use that tenant's payment to pay their mortgage, and then wait a year or 2 and let all of that equity build up, and then pull out money from either one of the properties, 2 of the properties, or 3 of the properties. Again, there's so many ways to play this game. And that's why it's so important to work with a real estate agent who understands the different strategies. We recently had a meeting with some clients that want to do this, and they bought their last house with a different realtor who did not know any of this and did not give very good advice, in my opinion, and kind of, backed them into a corner in a bad way where they are not able to. I mean, they'll be fine and they'll still be able to do this, but it kind of set them back a little bit on their journey. So who you work with matters. Make sure that you find an agent that is aware, first of all, of the ways to build wealth with real estate, and also educated and creative, because there are so many different ways to play this game. And with all of our clients, we ask, what's your long-term goals? What's your risk tolerance? What's your financial situation right now? Because the answers to those questions will really depend, or really affect what the strategy is that we recommend. So yeah, I'm super excited for our client who closes tomorrow on her third property. And I think that's her third property in 3 years. So she's going pretty aggressively. She's really excited. She has kids. These houses that she's owning, if she continues to play the game right, will become assets that she can pass on to her children. So it's not just that she's building the wealth for herself. So she's having the extra cash flow and she's having all of that extra, um, you know, finances that she has in her life and the stability. But when her kids are older, she can literally gift them houses with tenants in them, which is just such an amazing thing. That's our plan for little Alexander. So if he's listening in his subconscious, um, yeah, it's generational wealth in many, many different ways of the words. So if you have any questions about real estate investing, like I said, it's one of my favorite things to talk about. It's one of Jordan's favorite things to talk about. It's what we study in our free time. It's what we really help our clients a lot with, because also the difference between buying a house for $400,000 and buying the same house for $300,000, that makes a huge difference on your mortgage, and therefore what your monthly payment is going to be, and therefore, if you're cash flowing, like the difference between what your payment is and what you can charge your tenants. And also, by the way, we can help fill it with tenants as well. So we're really here to help guide you through the entire process from start to finish. And we do it because we are so passionate and we've seen how much it changes lives, and we just want to help others experience it. So if you have any questions, reach out, let me know. It's not for everyone in every stage of life, so there's no strings attached. Like, if you reach out, I'm not gonna be like, you have to buy a house today, because it might not be the best strategy for you. And that's why we tailor everything specifically to each person. We never do cookie cutter stuff. Everything will be tailored to you. So if you have any questions, reach out. We'd love to chat. It's never too late, however old you are. And like I said, there are so many creative ways to get into properties. And once you have that first one, that's the hardest hurdle often, because like I said, especially in a city like Austin and the surrounding areas, the appreciation will happen on its own. Even if you don't do a single thing, but just live in it and let the clock turn, let the time pass, your house will go up in value and you will have more wealth because of it. So especially in a market right now, it is a buyer's market, which means it is the best time for buyers to buy. We can really negotiate aggressively for you because there are more houses on the market than buyers, which means we have the leverage in the negotiation. So also on the long-term thinking time horizon, I know that sometimes, like all markets, they cycle, and so it can be maybe 1 year to the next, the value changes, but on a long enough time horizon, your properties will almost actually always increase if you zoom out long enough. So reach out for help, reach out with any questions that you have, reach out with any topics you want me to talk about. Let me know if you prefer to have Alexander awake next time. He's much cuter when he's awake and part of the live. But a mom's schedule is around the baby, and so today he wanted to nap, and this is the time that I wanted to go live. So reach out, let me know. Thanks for watching. And if you have any questions about real estate investing or anything, let me know. We would love to help. We can help in all 50 states. So any city that you're in. Once again, I'm Melanie. I run the elite real estate team here in Austin, Texas, and we'd be happy to help you buy, sell, rent, commercial, even if you want to buy land, anything. So hope you have a great day, and I'll talk to you soon.